So in this tutorial I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get the TBS Unify, for my case it's the Unify Race, working with the Taranis X9d, working with the KISS LUA script in order for you to be able to change your PIDs in your VTX. I'm more concerned about changing my VTX than my PIDs, because I just fly default PIDs. But anyway, so let's get to it. So if you already don't have Taranis firmware as far as X9d goes, 2.2.0 or greater, you'll need to flash your Taranis to something greater. There are plenty of videos out there that go into detail on how to actually do that. I'm not going to do that in this video, but I will link to several that show you how to do that. I believe Joshua Bardwell, he does a very well job of walking you through that, and detailed as well. So I'm not going to go through that, but what I will do is show you a quick little trick as far as flashing your KISS flight controller to get it to the new firmware. I do have issues sometimes, and I will say my issue, I had it when I was upgrading to the latest firmware, and I resolved the issue. Unfortunately, I won't be able to actually actively show you the issue, but what I can do is kind of step through what I did in order for me to fix the issue that I was particularly having. And I can link you to my RC group's blog page that talks a little bit about that. So first things first, as far as the flight controller, I have the KISS flight controller version 1.03, and with this version you'll need to go ahead and upgrade the firmware to 1.3. You want to basically do what's out there, the latest and greatest. I'll link you to the downloads page, but I won't link you directly to like these flight controllers and whatnot, because websites tend to change location. First things first is go ahead and, when you come here, since I'm going to be doing version 1, and go ahead and open this. I already have it open. Go ahead and go into the firmware, which is going to take you, to here. We'll go ahead and download that. It should download to wherever your downloads directory is. So I dropped mine in firmware. Right, I create a folder. These are all the previous versions that I flashed and whatnot. So the latest one is gonna be the TFU. So before you flash your flight controller, just plug it in without pressing the bootloader. And once you have it plugged in, open the KISS firmware, KISS software. Right, connect, and I would recommend taking screenshots of every single tab here, just in case. If you're on Windows, you can easily do snipping tool. You did the snipping tool and you did new, you can just grab it, do that, hit save, and then you can actually save this image, hit new again, go to the next one, so on and so forth. But also what you can do is you can do backup. If you click on backup, you actually open up a dialog box to save a text file. You can see all the backups that I've done here previously in the past when I first started 2 years ago and whatnot, and I actually labeled this one 1.2 because that's what the version I was on before. So just go ahead and back it up, hit save, whatnot, and then you can be able to load that after we flash. So once you do that, go ahead and disconnect. Once you do download the firmware and you download Diffuse, go ahead and open Diffuse. The error that I encountered when I tried to flash this firmware is the fact that the bootloader conflicts with the Betaflight drivers, STM bootloader. And I will show you a quick trick if you've gotten it to work before, because this sometimes happens. Sometimes they'll mess up. One disclaimer: I know a lot of people, they do tell you use the Impulse RC driver fixer. Do not use the Impulse RC driver fixer for KISS. That is only for Betaflight, at least from my experience. Also, don't use the Zadig drivers. Those are also for the Betaflight flight controllers. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to be clicking the boot button and then plugging in my USB, which is off screen. You're not seeing that right now. Once I plug it in, I let it go. And right now it's immediately showing up in the diffuse demo, but in the event that it doesn't, there's one trick that I've discovered myself. If you go into the device manager, if you're actually on Windows 10, you can hit Windows key X, which will bring up this menu, or else what you can do is you can just right click on the start menu, click on device manager. You go into the device manager under either it'll be serial bus controllers or just serial bus centers. I'm not sure exactly what devices. If you see an STM bootloader or something like that with an exclamation mark, if you do happen to see it showing up, what you can do is right click on it, do update driver, browse my computer, let me pick from a list, and hopefully if you do have the actual driver installed, you can actually select it here, hit next, and it will resolve the issue for you. So you can see right here the Impulse RC flight controller drivers for the Betaflight that I've ran previously on those boards. And when you plug it in, Windows will automatically pick this up, but we want this one. And once you have that, you are able to see it in diffuse. So just a real quick show you how to do this. Once you have it up in there, you choose, you navigate to where you dropped that RC, just hit that, click open. When you click on upgrade, it's going to prompt you to this. Before you select yes, you need to click on the bootloader button, then click yes, then you can let it go. I'm not going to do it since I already did it. But one thing that I do want to tell you guys, that after you do flash, connect your flight controller, and that backup that we did previously, go ahead and restore it. So if you do restore, select that file that you backed up or created, hit open, and it'll load it. But once it loads it, go ahead and save. Another thing, actually, before you get to this point, when you plug in and you connect, it'll actually tell you your flight controller is not activated. You gotta have an internet connection. So go ahead and just hit activate, and it should activate it for you. Then it'll allow you to come into this screen, and then click restore. Once it restores, hit save. If this is red, that means you need to save if you made any changes. So once you do flash and you do restore your changes, go into advanced, and on the VTX config, go ahead and select TBS Unify. Like I said, this is for the Unify race. Select your frequency. My frequency is on 4, I believe. That's normally what I fly on. And then here, low power and high power. What this basically means is low power is whenever you're disarmed, high power is whenever you're armed. 25 milliwatts and 200 milliwatts that the Unify race can do. Go ahead and click save. Do any other changes you want to do, but that's the main one that we're concerned about here. Disconnect. And so when it comes to your flight controller and how things are all wired up, you're going to basically wire it up in this configuration. This is courtesy of blog Seidel Philip. I will also post his link. I followed his tutorial, great tutorials by the way, and all these tutorials I basically learned from. Everybody has things different. I learned from everybody, and so I'm just giving him credit. So you're going to basically set it up this way. So your XSR, you're going to have the S bus, the S port, the ground, and then the power, and you're going to set it up on these pads here. Your S port is going to go to aux1, your ground is going to go here, your 5-volt here, and your S bus is going to go to this UART. When it comes to the TBS, what you're going to do is the audio pin, which is going to be on the Unify Race, is going to be connected to under the board RX3. So it's going to be set up connected to here, RX3. And this is going to be under the board because this is the top of the board. So you see that front there, and it's going to be under the board. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and load up the Taranis with the KISS LUA script. That's going to be able to allow us to control our VTX and whatnot. Alright, so before I do it, I want to show you a quick trick. So the old way of getting the Taranis into SD card mode was to hold these two, flick it on, it'll go into bootloader mode, then you can plug it in and it'll be SD card available. With 2.2.0 and on,
welcome to opentx.
You could actually have it set to where when you actually have it plugged in, you can plug in the USB from this mode. When I first loaded it up, it was not doing it like I saw in, say for instance, Joshua Bardwell's video. One thing that you need to do is you need to hold down the menu button. In your radio setup, you need to come up, and right here you're going to see USB mode. And here, what I had originally was joystick. So when I turned it on without doing the old-fashioned bootloader trick, it would just go into joystick mode and it never asked me. So when I came here, you can either do it set it to either or you can actually set it to ask. So with ask, and you're in the regular screen, when you plug in your USB, it'll actually ask you. So I want to do into USB storage mode. So now it's in storage mode. So when you plug in your Taranis, you're going to have two drives, Taranis and USB drive. Leave the Taranis alone. This one has the firmware in it. Do not touch that. You want to leave that alone. You're going to want to go into the other drive that it mounts. And in here, you're going to go into scripts, telemetry. What you're going to want to do is go back to the downloads, KISS downloads. Click on the LUA script, which is going to open up this page, the GitHub page. Right now the latest is for firmware 1.30. That will work with RC34C, release candidate 34C. So the release candidate 30 for the LUA script will work. So since I have the X9d, I want to go ahead and download this one. And I don't download it to the Taranis directly. I download it to another folder, KISS LUA, just as a backup. Then once I have it downloaded at this location, then I go ahead and open the Taranis remote we opened earlier, scripts telemetry, and I drag the KISS folder and the KISS SP LUA script over into the telemetry folder located on the Taranis that we discussed earlier. KISS SP stands for S port. The CF is for Crossfire. I don't use Crossfire, so I'm not going to copy that over. And you can see I already have it here. One thing you don't need to be concerned about is the LUA C script that you see on my screen. That's because I already ran it, and because I did, it basically compiled the regular LUA script for me. Then, let me unplug here. You'll be able to then press menu and hold down page. It'll take you back the screen, and then on any one of these screens, I choose screen 3 to be my KISS. You're going to go ahead and choose script. There's going to be different ones, bars, none. Choose script. Select this. Choose the KISS SP, again, which stands for S port. You're going to select that. You can hit exit, exit. When you're on your main model screen, you're going to go ahead and hold down the page button, and it'll take you to your first screen, which I have it set up to just be Fuel, VFast, and RX. Press it again, and it'll take you to your next screen. This is a custom LUA script that I created. And then press it again. If you're following my directions, if you drop it on the first screen, it'll immediately drop you into here. It'll immediately drop you into the KISS flight control, the KISS LUA script. You want to scroll through these, and these are 1 through 6. You're going to press the menu button, and it's going to walk through all of them. Unfortunately, it's not the same as the other one, where if you hold down page or menu, it goes back. That's not the way this works. They didn't set it up that way, but that's how you navigate through it. And one thing I always suggest: invest in a smoke stopper. When I'm on the bench and I'm testing things or I'm plugging things in, I do not plug in without having a smoke stopper attached, just for safety reasons. I don't have props on, but you never know, especially when things are just loose like this. You never know when something might short, when something might accidentally touch each other, whatever. But yeah, so let's plug this in. So one thing that I do know that some people do suggest is they say to go into your telemetry screen, which is 12, and they say audio port, they say to delete all sensors, and then once you delete them, here, I'll do it actually. You got a long press, and it's going to ask you, really? Yep, sure do. All your sensors should be gone now, and what you're going to do is discover new sensors. They say to do that. I just did it as a precautionary measure, but I'm getting at all of them. You have to stop discovering. So then once you discover new sensors, go back to your main screen, hold down or press page, hold down page, which will take you to whatever screens you have set up. Like I said, mine's on the 3rd screen, and there it is. So we have our PIDs, and it automatically fills in. And there's our channel. As I said before, low power is when you have it disarmed. High power is when you actually arm it, what it's going to jump up to. One thing that I will tell you is that I did ran into an issue to where I got a script error. If you ever run into that, try this fix. Hold down the menu when you're on your main screen, pan over and come to this screen where it's going to be the SD card contents. Scroll down to scripts, go into scripts, go into telemetry, highlight the LUA C, long press, and hit execute. It's gonna come in here, and it's automatically gonna start showing. Now, you're not in like the other page screens. You're actually executing the script. So instead, exit out of here, long press exit, exit out of here, then go back here, and if you received error before, your error should have gone away, because now you've executed the compiled script. That's just something that I ran into. I don't know, it's just something you might want to try. So one thing, if you do change your PIDs here, I'll just repeat this, it's been in other videos, but if you do change something, in order for you to save it, you could hold down and do save page. I don't want to save it, I don't know what I just changed, P on the roll axis. If you want to discard your changes, you can just hit reload, and there you go, it reloads it. I think I changed that to 49 or something. So let's go ahead and try. What I'm more concerned about is changing the channel, because when I'm out with my friends, sometimes I'm on a channel that they're on as well, and instead of one of us getting in there and trying to change the channel by a button, this is the main reason why I wanted to do this. So let's go ahead and try this. So let's verify that I'm on channel 4. I am on channel 4. See that here off the side. So I want to do channel 7. So like I said, if I hold down long menu, save page, pay attention to this. It's going to go out. Save page. Now I change it to 7 and gone. So now that it's a goner, there we go. It's a goner. We get it 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go, and we're back online. All right. So hitting exit does nothing. I think you can long press exit and it'll go here, bring you back to the last screen you were on, or you can hit page, it'll take you to another screen, and you loop through, it'll take you back to the last screen. If you want to just exit gracefully, you can go to another page and just hit exit, and then it'll come back here. So I just want to share that, a little bit of info there. Cool. So hope this video helped you. I know there wasn't really much out there in regards to the Unify. I know there's a lot of people have the Tramp, but I just wanted to make this video for those people.
Telemetry lost.
For those people who have the Unify, like me. Thanks for watching.